Talk.
Hello.
Hello. Obviously, I have Nike with me. Okay, if you don't know who Nike is,
You're insane.
honestly, you should go to her channel. I'll link it up here. You were the third person off the internet that I've met in person. Well, okay, technically in my whole life, but like for YouTube stuff or like
Who's the first one? Because
Like,
Marshall would have been number 2.
Annie.
Oh, Annie. That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Annie just allows me to come in and stay with her at her home. Marshall allows me to come in and stay with him at his home. Nike allows me to come in and stay with them at their home. Like, could you
Could you even imagine?
I know. The first thing they said to me, like they opened the door, or I opened the door, and they were like, "You're a real person." And I was like, "Yeah, you are too."
Well, it's so weird to like see somebody that you've met online.
Yeah.
And like we've done video calls, we've done voice calls. It's not like we were just text friends only.
Right.
So like obviously there's more of a connection, but like the reality setting in if they like arrive at your home,
Yeah,
they're like
they're right there. Yes,
like it's so weird.
They're like,
Well, there's that weird boundary where you're like, am I allowed to like put my hands on you?
together. You're like,
it's weird to now have like a physical setting in which you can interact because there's new
very
levels to
strange.
boundaries and stuff.
this is the question that you came up with that I really liked. What tools do you make yourself versus buying?
So I buy tarot cards, but I make my tarot mats.
Yes.
I have some wands. We actually, over there, you can see on the bookshelf. We get wood sometimes. We found a bunch of driftwood recently. I like making wands and then like wood burning them. The one that I have, I don't use it like all the time, but I got this thing. It still had all the bark on it, so it wasn't even like driftwood. I had to like do all this myself. It had all the bark that I had to peel off, and then I took sandpaper and sanded it down. And I took a wood burner and burned all the runes up the side because it's like a traditional thing. I ran it through like a flame so it would get a little bit of charring, and I like charred the ends more than anything else and like basically put soot on it and then used oil to sort of like lock that in place so it like darkened it a little bit. But yeah, I like making my wands. Part of why I'll make certain things is if I don't know, like with wands, I didn't know if I was going to dedicate to using them, and I haven't enough to justify like buying a nice one. But you know, when you make it, you don't have to worry about that so much, and it's a little bit more yours, so you're more inclined to use it, so it helps that if you're not sure, you can do that. But yeah,
Marshall makes wands.
I love
and they're
wands.
really pretty.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah, I got to like pick through all the ones that he's going to list on his shop. I had the behind the scenes. It was pretty cool. Let's see, making versus buying. Well, obviously, yeah, definitely cards most of the time. I would love. Oh, there's a bucket list thing. I would love to like make my own tarot deck or like oracle deck one day, but let me tell you, that shit is so hard because
I know.
you have to understand that when you're buying a tarot deck, like people are like, oh, they're $60. What? Right, but you're also getting like 70. How many are there cards? 78. 78.
I think it's 78.
78.
I feel like a bad witch.
I know, I was like 72, but that's
I'm
whatever.
pretty sure it's 78.
You're getting a lot of different art pieces from the same. So like they made like 70 something art pieces and you're buying those, and sure they're small, but you're using them actively, so it's like, yes, it's going to be expensive, like pay the artist. Tarot cards, oracle cards, what else do I buy? I mean, I like to buy candles. I love buying like candles from either botanicas or like just Etsy stores or whatever.
I'd love to learn to make my own, but it's just kind of an investment to get into.
Yeah, the wax is probably the most expensive because I go with beeswax for sure.
Same.
You know, I mean, I've made my own candles, but it's a day thing.
Yeah, it's a whole
process.
an operation.
For me. What do I make? I make most of my things.
I usually buy herbs more. Like I try to forage where I can, but if I plan to ingest in any way,
yeah,
I try not, like I'll use foraged herbs if I know for a fact that they are safe. But like if I find something literally on the edge of the road, you can't use that anything that's going to touch your body in any way, shape, or form. So
yeah, so I mean, like, okay, that's a really good one, is like foraging. Definitely nothing with bodily. It's only with adding it to a spell. Yeah, I think most of my tools are made. But if okay, but like I can make oils, but they don't pack a punch like a lot of others.
Oh my God, yeah.
So while I do like making oils, and I'm working on getting better at that, I will purchase those. So like if I know that there's better product out there than what I'm making, I will buy it. I think that's fair. What are some of your favorite qualities about yourself?
Well, because I'm trying to remember if I didn't like certain qualities when I was younger. I do like that I'm loud and aggressive. I think it's useful.
Me too.
Not everybody's gonna like it, but I kind of figured out when I was very young. This feels so sad. It's not meant to be sad, I promise.
Okay.
I figured out very young, not everyone's gonna like me. The people who like me adore me. People who don't like me
There is
hate
no
my
in
guts.
between.
Yeah.
There's no, okay, so
I feel very
we're
polarizing.
similar there, but I like that you're loud and aggressive also.
Well, because it helps, right? Like
It does.
I have friends who are more timid or shy or don't feel as able to stand up for themselves even though they could. And it just makes me feel happy to be able to help people. Like, I'm not trying to step in and white knight for people, but like when they need somebody to get in someone's face, like
You like to feel trusted with that, like...
yeah, like when my roommate had that tiff,
Yeah.
it made me feel better because she was freaking out so bad, and I just felt calm and confident, and I was like, I will help you, I will help protect you, I will keep you safe, and I was able to help her through that situation by being a rock and just being able to be like, no, I'll get in someone's face, I don't really care. I have gotten in the face of dudes who are easily like 100 pounds of pure muscle heavier than me, a full foot plus taller than me. Like, I don't care. I don't really have an idea of how small I truly am for the most part.
It's the big dick energy.
Oh, yeah.
It takes over. We have the little dog syndrome.
Yes.
You know, like, it's like...
Well, people think that I'm taller than I am. For the internet's sake, I'm 5'3".
When they saw me, they were like, you're so small. And I'm like, it's the big dick energy.
It's true.
You think that I'm a lot bigger. Everybody thinks that I'm like at least 5'7".
Yeah, yep, we're tiny people. So she's 5'1", I'm 5'3".
Ma'am, I'm 5'2".
5'2", that's right. No, Georgina and Temp are 5'1".
What
You're
you like?
right,
How I'm
you're
like,
right,
don't skip me on that inch.
That 1 inch is important. Yeah, like I'm 5'3", but everybody who I know online is like, bullshit. You are 5'6". You are 5'6", minimum 5'7". Like you are taller than that.
It's
and I'm
the
like, I'm
big dick
really
energy.
not. I'm really truly not.
I don't know I mean, like, I like a lot of things about me, but I don't know, like, if I have like a favorite where I'm like, oh, this part, like, yeah. Oh, you know, I think I like that I'm willing to try anything, or that like I have like that ambition of playfulness, I guess.
You want to have a lot of life experiences.
I do, yeah. I just like, I mean, that's why I got into pole dancing. I was just like, I don't know, it's something I know nothing about. It's something that's totally out of my comfort zone. Yeah, let's do it. And like, look at me now, you know, like I love it. So it's just kind of like, I like that quality because if I didn't have that, my life would be very different.
Yep.
And I like my life now. What is something that someone has said or done in passing that's actually made a big impact on your life?
You know what? It was actually my night. So it was before he had taken me on, like, for him to be my mentor. He had honestly just met me. Just like any nerd-dominated field, women or AFAB people are not very common and they don't stick around very long because sexism culture is always big, even in better places. Yes. So we were fighting, like in a group fight, and he was on my team, and it was just like me and him and the 2 people on the other side. Like it was a 2v2 type of situation. And I was super new. I wasn't even that good of a fighter yet. I honestly, like, it's not me downplaying it. I was newer. But I just happened to like get a good hit in, and as we're going, he just goes, nice shot. And like that's it. It was just like super passing, like that was a good shot, moving on. But there's just something about, like, it wasn't him trying to do anything or say anything. It was such a genuine, appreciative, supportive moment from a man who I knew was really important to other people. I saw the impact he had on others. And it wasn't like a senpai noticed me. It was just like for him to take the time out of his day to recognize a complete stranger for something like that without him even knowing that I had some of the confidence issues that I had and still have. It was just like a nothing moment that really, really stuck with me forever. That was like 6 years ago. Right,
but like, it's just like funny that like you carry that moment with you for the rest of your life, and like it's just something that he like didn't even think about. So I, you know, like that's a huge reason why it's kind of like it's really important to be kind to each other.
Well, it's because he's so, like, you know that he means it so genuinely, and it's because he is genuinely seeing you in that moment.
Yes.
It's not just, it's a thing that happened, he acknowledged it. He sees you like to your core, and that's what makes people remember those moments. I mean, I certainly have things that people have said to me that I'll carry for the rest of my life in the opposite way.
Yes, same. Same, absolutely. Oh, actually, this was a comment on one, which like checking comments terrify me. So I usually don't do it, but this was a comment, and I don't know if it was like, I don't know where it was, like what post it was on. Commented, "You give me final boss energy."
Oh.
And I don't know, like, I know they were saying it like just as a compliment in passing, but I know that I will carry that because like that is like, what a compliment. Like, it's not just like, oh my God, you're a bad bitch. Like, I mean, I love those, don't get me wrong at all, but like, that's such a specific, like, people work their way through their whole journey and you are the last thing standing that they need to like, you know, like that, like you are the biggest challenge.
Yes.
And like, that was,
I love that for you.
right. Like I remember, I just read that and I screenshotted it and I was like, I'm keeping this forever.
I got one yesterday. I don't know if I told you or not, because I told someone.
I don't think
but
so.
On that titty picture I posted, somebody said that I gave them alpha female chaotic vibes. And I'm like kind of really into that.
Yes. Have you been on your page? Like, that's literally all you
I was
are.
like, that's a great encompassing phrase. And not like alpha female like in the way that like men use alpha, but just like, you know, like the way alpha's meant to be.
Right.
Yeah, I really appreciated that comment. Just because like, you know.
Comments matter. They really do.
Go look at my page for my I'm not normally like somebody who's like,
I'm just
look
gonna
at my
like
boobs.
plaster it right here.
Yes, please do.
It'll be fine. Wait, move your head so that we can plaster it. Please witness.
You know what you should do? You should insert that little clip where I'm just like.
Okay. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, comments matter. That's why
Comments do matter.
I really want to like put in here really quick that people are always like, just ignore the mean comment. You don't really do that.
It's not a thing that you can tell somebody when you don't have their perspective, because every creator I know also gets down on comments, and it's not because it's like one or two, it's because
it's hundreds.
It's hundreds and it's consistent.
It's
like
consistent.
I mercifully am spared generally from hate comments, but people like Georgina and Temp and Olivia, oh my God, the things that people say to them are heinous for no reason. Like, they will just get hated on for existing and for saying uncontroversial things like you should cleanse, or I know that Frankie, they got really shit on because they said that daily practice is the best way to improve. They didn't say if you don't do daily practice, you're shit.
Okay, but daily practice in anything.
Yes.
Not in just
people were like, you're being ableist because not everyone can practice every day. And they were like, I didn't say you have to. I just said that
this is the best way to,
like it is.
Frankie is a gift to this world. If you don't know their channel, please link. One of my first videos, I took it down because I'm redoing it, so calm down, please. How to get started in your practice and stuff. The amount of comments that I got, because the first thing that I say is, where's my coffee? The amount of comments that I got that were like, you call yourself a spiritual person and you drink coffee, what the hell? Like, do you know what's going in your body? Are you serious? Oh my gosh. People have seen me like eat eggs or like meat or drink soda. Like, people get so upset about those things, and it's...
I posted a meat and cheese platter and it had people yelling at me for eating meat while being a spiritual person.
Right, and it's like...
Listen,
we don't need to get into that.
Half the videos I do, I'm drinking Dr. Pepper. Like, you want to tell me about like, oh, would you put in your... I know. Believe me.
I understand. I'm ready to go.
I'm here.
I'm gonna do it the way that I want to do it.
I love people who like. There's a specific culture around Dr. Pepper for like no reason, and
what?
It's the weirdest thing. I don't know what it is, but like the internet.
Around Dr. Pepper.
The internet is like, people who drink Dr. Pepper do not fear God.
Not like nice.
Sir.
We're filming a video. Get out of my presence.
Get out of here.
How dare you? Biggest turning point for you in your craft?
I think for me, like there's a couple. I've spoken about this before, because I feel like everyone's craft has a bunch of turning points where it's not like corners, but it's like the curves in a curvy road.
Yes.
I know for sure, like obviously, finding Hellenistic astrology was really, really big, because like I believed in astrology enough to try to pursue it, but modern just never suited me. It never worked out. The actual like real turning point was seeing the traditional domicile placement, so where all the planets are at home, and seeing the sun and the moon on the one side, the two luminaries, and then on the opposite side being Saturn, and seeing all the planets equally falling out
That's
together.
what you were teaching me.
Yeah,
right?
what I was
You were
showing you.
me? Okay.
Yeah, so like seeing them all mirrored together, seeing the like all the symmetry and like that beautiful like geometry of astrology and how that works out and why things work the way, and just the more that I saw like just every part of it working with the traditional placements, because like I use the modern planets, I do use the outer planets, but for rulerships and stuff, I use the traditional ones because it just works. And it was just like a light bulb hit, and I was like, this is what I was meant to be doing. This is how it's meant to work. It's no shade to people who do modern. It's just that this was like,
that's the thing that hit home for you.
Yeah, this was it. So that's really like a big turning point there. But I mean, probably like the first time a deity reached out was really, really big and formative for me.
Oh, yeah, I feel like that would be a huge turning point for sure. I've had a few, I've had a lot. I think the biggest one was when I started being open about it. I was fully prepared to be scrutinized by all the people that I loved.
Yeah.
I was fully prepared for people to be like, oh, so you're batshit crazy.
Yeah, you're insane.
Or uncomfortable with me. And the people closest to me, well, there definitely was like a shift where it was kind of like, oh, this is okay. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. You can do you. I'm just gonna, I'll let you do that thing, but I don't really want to like interact with that.
I announced it to like my friends. I started telling my friends in person and like texting and whatnot. And I really expected my friends to be like, that's really stupid. No one did that. And honestly, the weirdest part was I had a couple of friends who I never knew. Like, I didn't know that they did this. They approached me and were like, oh yeah, I'm a baby witch. Like, I should go check out your stuff because I think you'd be a good resource because I know you're really smart. Like, people coming to me being like, I also am a witch and discovered it.
Isn't that like a huge...
It was so weird.
It's so weird to like feel like people are like looking up to you for information. Like, that's a very...
It's weird. Especially because I felt like nobody listened to me for so long, and then having people be like, your opinions
Tell me about it. Yeah, yes.
Cool.
That right there. Yes, 100%. And then all of a sudden it's like, it's not only are you being listened to, but you are one of the loudest voices for them.
Yes, which is so weird.
That is a strange feeling. Yeah. Okay, last question. Here we go. What's a big pet peeve of yours as a person, a practitioner, and as a creator?
Ooh,
not all together. You can do like separate ones.
As a person, usually it's like people ignoring me when they come to me for advice, which I know is common, but like when they come to you and ask your opinion and they specifically want to know your perspective and then just do nothing that you recommend, like not even one shred of it.
I will tell you I told you so. Because it's like, you came to me, you asked me, I gave you my time and my advice and my energy, and you did not take that advice. And if things don't work out,
you do not
like I told you they weren't gonna work out, I'm gonna say, I told you so.
I didn't used to do that. I used to be like, well, because I cared so much about how people viewed me. And then eventually I just like slowly started going the opposite way where I was like, no, I told you. Like, if you're gonna ignore me, you are not allowed to come to me and cry about how you didn't get the result
you don't get a pity party.
I told you what to do. I told you exactly what to do because I've been through, like, usually if I'm giving the advice, I've been there, I've been through it, I know how to, and I've spoken to other people. Like, I'm not coming at this from a stupid perspective. Like, if I'm telling you what to do, it's because I've been there and I know what would help, or at least what would be some assistance.
Yeah.
You cannot come to me later and be like, it didn't work. And I'm like, yeah, because you didn't do it.
Definitely come from maybe a more stern place.
Yeah.
But it's out of love.
I straight up will just be like,
don't get to roll around in your own shit and then cry that you stink. Okay, I don't like when people have really closed perspectives. That irks me so bad, because it's like, the world is so cool. It's scary and dangerous, but also it's like, what's not dangerous, you know? And I don't know, like, there's so many cool things to experience and do, and just like being I'm gonna get really really deep, but like just like being a person and like interacting with the people that you love, you know, and like having like little moments. It's like, how do you not cherish those things? And like, how do you not see the world as like something so like a little jungle gym, you know? Like, it's kind of fun. There's so many things you can do. So that kind of frustrates me, and willful ignorance.
Yeah,
that shit makes me so mad. You have a supercomputer in your hands and you are willingly not looking up something that maybe you could just Google. Like, I think if you're having a discussion about something, that's totally different. But if you're like having a discussion about like something factual and you're like, well, no, I'm right. It's like, okay, Google, like just look it up and like end the argument. I don't know. That's a big thing. As a practitioner, what's your biggest pet peeve?
It's about the community. It's that there seems to be a lack of perspective on like history. Like people make witchcraft really ahistorical and they try to make things different what they were. I'm just sort of like stuck on this right now because we talked about it recently, but with the whole like book blacklists because an author used this word or did this thing. Like in the 90s, using smudging to refer to smoke cleansing or using white sage was super common. It doesn't make those things okay. Like obviously we know why those things are not good.
And
but
now
people
we
will
should be
throw
correcting
out,
that now that we know better.
But people will throw out an entire book when the rest of it is great and formative and really important and like a good foundational book because in the 90s and early 2000s, that was just like the culture around witchcraft and it was normal. And in fact, like I'm sure publishers probably like pushed that and said, this sells, you should talk about it and bring it up.
That happens.
And there's also stuff from like the 50s, like somebody literally brought up a guy from the 1500s and we're like, he's canceled because he's a Nazi. And I was like,
okay, he's also dead.
Number one, he's from the 1500s. And number two, Nazism didn't exist yet, so he was a fascist and a racist. He can't be a Nazi. Number three, why the f*** are you listing him? Like what? It was like Varg Vikernes, who committed arson and murder and says he doesn't feel bad about having done it, was on the same list as Judica Illis because she has like encyclopedia type books, right?
Yeah.
And they, like in the books, she talks about things like Wendigos and skinwalkers. And they're like, that's cultural appropriation, you can't speak about those. And I'm just like, it's an encyclopedia. You would cry racism if she didn't include them. So there's just like, there's no winning and people don't seem to understand that you need, it's also like not reading things critically at all and just taking everything at face value. Like you need to be critical of things, yes, but you can't just like burn all the books because they say one thing you don't like and disregard all the rest of their metaphysical knowledge.
Yeah, even my own teachers, there's a lot of things that I do not agree with what they believe or think or like how they practice, but they're wonderful teachers.
Right.
Like the amount of things that I've learned and grown because of them. So it's like, I'm not going to throw away the whole teacher. Why is everything so this or that, you know?
It's
like
very black and white thinking.
Yeah, like
it
can't be like, this book is amazing and only amazing and it's so good. Or also like, burn the whole thing. It's like, it can, there's a spectrum on everything, you know? I think that's a big thing. That goes on to, that teeters on pet peeves of like creator, I think also like as a creator, as somebody who puts content out, whether that be book or anything. Also, there's an expectation of what it should look like online and offline, you know? And so and again, this teeters on the creator. I think it's because we are practitioners who are creators about our practice. It overlaps so much. But the thing is like, I made a tweet and I talk about this in another video too, that like, I talk about how I don't show a lot of my practice because it's personal and my content isn't about my practice. It's about helping others find resources. That's why. But I also don't show a lot of it because it doesn't look like what the internet thinks it should look like. And you can't win there.
Yeah.
Because some people will be like, well, then you're being fake. You're not showing us everything. You're being just aesthetic. Like you should show the raw parts, which I do agree with. But also on the other side of like, I'm allowed to have that personal boundary. I'm allowed to not share insanely personal practices of mine. I'm allowed to be uncomfortable with sharing things online. Like I'm allowed to do all those things. So, and certain things, like, because this is my livelihood, this is how I pay my bills, this is my job now, I really do have to make sure that what I'm putting out is something that will draw attention and something that will help people, because that's the point of my content. And it's not just me like showing off, I'm doing a prosperity spell or whatever. Like, it's not something like that. It's not just like a thing to display, right? So there is no winning. And that's a huge pet peeve of mine of like, I can't post one photo or one thing without somebody getting upset about literally anything. For content wise, assumptions irritate the absolute hell out of me. And I talk to other creators who aren't witchy. And one of the things that I found that everybody across the board fucking hates is, you seem sad lately. That, yeah, trigger. And only women get it. I have never seen that, and I have asked my male creator friends, none of them have that issue.
Frankie got that recently, someone being like, you seem so sad, I hope you're feeling better.
I reached out to them and I was like, hey, am I being an asshole or does this bother you too? And they were like, this actually does bother me like a lot.
Oh yeah,
and
all the time.
It's just because it's so frustrating to have people constantly project those things because and it was a photo of them smiling.
Right.
And they looked so cute and so happy and like they were just.
And they are happier than they used to be. Like they're the happiest they've ever been.
So it's almost like kind of like a slap in the face of like, you seem like you're depressed. And it's like, but I'm happy.
Yeah.
And that changed a lot in my content recently too, because this is just like the way I talk, right? Like it's monotone, it's whatever. Very sarcastic, and a lot of people have been like, you just seem like you're more depressed. And I'm actually just more comfortable on camera now. This is just how I am. I'm not gonna be like, welcome to Disney Channel, I'm Olivia. It's really frustrating, and you can't experiment without people ridiculing you. Say, I'm taking inspiration from Annie the Green Witch. I sat down and asked her how she makes her videos so that I can replicate that and experiment with that for my own content. And then people, you're copying her. Yeah, it's almost like I was inspired by her.
Well, that's the funniest part. So for some behind the scenes stuff, because when this has come out, we've already posted some photos from it, but we went out and like got some footage and took some photos, and Olivia was literally like, do you want have all of this footage, have all of these photos, like even the ones I didn't take, like it's fully, so if you see the same footage but just like used differently on both of our channels, she literally said, I want you to have this, please take it, use it for literally whatever you want.
No, they're a copycat. You heard it here first. I'm tweeting that.
Good, do it. So like, there's that weird thing of people who think that creators don't communicate or that they don't, OWAS, it's the same thing. Like people think we legitimately hate each other because we're just like, you're the worst, you're so stupid.
I'm confused on how, because that's how I feel like most really healthy relationships are.
Yeah.
Because all of my friends, we shit on each other a lot, but we also know our boundaries, right? Like there's things that you don't poke fun about.
Yeah.
But there's also, it's like, we can talk about certain things, and I will say the meanest shit, and they'll say the meanest things to me too. And people are like, that is not okay, they can't say that to you. And I'm like, it's okay.
I'm pretty sure I called Georgina a stupid bitch on a live stream. Because she just like said something dumb, and I was like, what is wrong with you, you dumb bitch? Just like in front of everyone. We make fun of each other all the time. How do you not see?
Well, that's, okay, so I posted a video with my friend Megan, right? We've been friends 11 years. And the way that we interact is I will admit, it's very specific. Like, it is only specific to me and Megan. So there's like a bit that we do, and it's just like a thing that just happens, and we'll like be really mean. So like if she'll drop something, I'll be like, you bitch. Pick that up. And like, that's how we interact. And there was a comment on one of my videos, and that, like, we didn't really do that too much on the video that we did together, but there was a comment, and it was like, I'm just really worried for Olivia because I think Megan is like one of those really toxic friends, and I hope that she's not like being really toxic to Olivia, which is hilarious because Megan is one of my best friends, one of the most loyal people that I've ever had in my life. She is the friend that you wish you had. God, it's just wild that people will throw assumptions on something that they saw 16 minutes of video that you filmed over 2 months. The assumptions, the shit like that of like, you can't put that on the internet, because as much as I would love to show my raw interactions with my friends and stuff, like people are going to assume that we hate each other. And while people I know in the comments will be like, no, like I'm like that too. No, you like read the comments. If I post something, like read the comments and
I'll kick you out of my house. We're on the 3rd floor, jump off the balcony.
You know what? I'll do anything once. Twice if I like it.
Twice if you survive.
Twice if I survive. It's only 3 floors, maybe some broken bones and some internal injuries. Yeah.
It's the people treating you like you are automatically their teacher. Like, not just that you are teaching them things, but like you have signed up to be their mentor. So they'll just ask you every question under the sun, especially stuff that's really easily Googleable. Like the laziness.
Like, what's the correspondences to Mint? And it's like, that's
I've just started sending people google.com, like the link to google.com.
If it's a bad enough question, I will.
Like, if people are asking for perspective or understanding, like,
experience,
you know, but if it's just literally phrasing it, because the phrasing is important, but if it's literally just, what do you use mint for?
Because you don't mind people treating you like a teacher. What you're saying is that you don't like people treating you as a crutch.
Yes, a crutch.
Right, because it's like, both of us like being
obviously.
teachers, obviously, right. But it's like, when people are not putting in the effort to grow and learn for themselves and using us as cheat sheets.
They want you to hand them the answers.
Right.
That's what it is. It's laziness. They want you to practice for them, and this might be too spicy for the video. It's kind of like some people don't actually want to be a witch. They just like being able to call themselves that, but they don't want to do anything. So they want you to do all the spell work for them. They want you to look at their chart for them and do all that shit for them. They don't want to learn anything about themselves. They don't want to do any of the shadow work. They don't want to do any of the deity work. They just like they like being able to say, I work with Hecate and Apollo and Hades, and having this list of like things. It's like an ego thing to just have like this cool thing that you get to call yourself now, but they don't do any of the work.
Yeah.
I have a good one, because I have a video about like undoing your spell work, and it's basically like, take it apart is the super TLDR, if you can. And I'll have people on that video being like, I did this spell and it didn't work and I wanna undo it. What do I do? How about you watch the video?
Yeah, like you can send the link to the video.
It's on the video.
And then
it's comments on the video. On my video, undoing your spell work, people will say, how do I undo this spell? And I'm just like,
rip.
I'm not answering you, because you're literally on the video that will tell you what to do. I walk you through, if you know where it is, if you can physically undo it, if you can't, what you can do then. Like, I give you the options.
Yeah, that's frustrating. Well, because I was gonna say basically the same thing of like, in my description of all of my videos, if I mention a tea, if I have any music, if I have, like, it's like all my gear, everything, all of that is listed.
Robin on social media every day. Anytime that she like shows a deck, in the description and on the post, like if you click it, like they are tagged, they are listed. She states what it is, and every time someone goes, what deck is this? She started doing this and she just goes, no one knows. It's a mystery, I don't know.
Yeah, like on Instagram, you know, like I'll post something and I'll tag, because I love my Ana Luisa. This one isn't sponsored, but I do really love the brand. They treat me so well. And I'll like I wear all of their stuff, and I get questions all the time like, oh, what are you wearing? And I'm like, I tagged it in the photo. I did. Or, you know, like the big Victorian jacket that I love. Oh, where did you get that? It's tagged and it's in the description. Jacket from. Check out the description. If you can't find it, you can also search comments, because keep in mind, even if the creator does respond, it might take them a few days or even a few weeks to see the comment or see the DM.
Yeah, because we don't always look. Like for some perspective, especially on YouTube, you have to log into the account and look at the notifications if you choose to get notifications, or you have to like go on the video and look. Like, it's not like you get a phone notification every time you get a YouTube comment. I do not turn, like, no, I don't do that. You have to go look.
And as a creator, YouTube comments stress me the hell, like they are absolutely the worst for me a lot of the time. So I will only check my YouTube comments the first 2 hours that I've posted. And after that, I will never look at it again, because they ruin me.
As a bonus, my favorite comments are people trying to evangelize. And so every time someone's like, repent, sinner, Jesus loves you, I've just taken, and this is thanks to Georgina, where I'm just like, rebuke me harder, frater daddy. I like that. Tell me more about Jesus. He sounds sexy.
I replied to one of those, and it was like, I was just like, you're right, I've been saved. And somebody replied, they were like, they actually replied to me. I wasn't expecting, they replied to me back after I was like, oh, I've been saved, thank you. And they replied back and they were like, that's awesome, and gave me like, it was actually really sweet. Like, I kind of felt bad that they gave me like resources on like online Sunday sermons, different passages I should read. Like, I kind of felt bad because they were really excited, and I was like, look, you shouldn't be shoving your religion down other people's throats, but also like, it was really cute that they were like, I did it, and like sent me all these resources. I
bet they're gonna use that as like a success story. I made the Witch of Wonderlust repent.
Good for you, you know, and
carry that in your heart.
The thing is like, if there's any Christian practitioners, they could have used those resources. So hey, maybe it worked out. I don't know. There's a lot of pet peeves. We could make a whole video.
We sure could.
We should do like a whole creator sit down.
I would love that.
And we talk about all of that. That would be a very interesting time.
Yes.
But this is a long video. Thank you for watching. You're the absolute best. I hope that you enjoyed. Of course, go check out Nike's channel.
Because I'm really rad and everybody should love me.
It's true. They're my wife, so yes. Yeah, go check out their channel. I'll leave everything down in the link below. And Instagram, TikTok, everything. They're wonderful. But today is the day that I leave.
Boo.
Until next time. You can also come and visit me.
That's true. That's
just
true.
saying.
Is it weird to say that you like felt sort of like just a roommate living here, like while you were?
No, it kind of felt. Yeah, it kind of felt like we were just roommates. They were roommates.
They were roommates.
I made that joke with Annie too, and everybody was like, "Are they dating?" And I was like, "Mate, I'm dating everybody."
Who can say? She was in my house for 4 days.
No one knows. Keep them wondering.
Keep them wondering. Keep the wanderlusting.
Keep the wanderlusting. Yeah, that sounded gross. We're gonna end that now. As always, thanks for watching. This is Nike. I'm Olivia, and best of luck. Be kind to each other, and may your gods treat you as you've treated others. Bye.